woman I love took from my best friend. The junkie got lucky, stole her back again. You better come on in my kitchen. Gonna be raining outdoors. I know she's gone, she won't be back. I stabilize nickel on my nation's side. You better come on in my kitchen. Gonna be raining outdoors. When a woman's in trouble, everybody throws it down. Looking for good friends, none can be found. You better come on in my kitchen. Gonna be raining outdoors. Winter time is coming, it's gonna be cold. Can't make winter bay, just drive on slow. You better come on in my kitchen. Gonna be raining outdoors. So that was my version of Robert Johnson's Come On In My Kitchen. And we'll do a little lesson on this song. It's not a difficult song, so well, you won't have any trouble, I think, learning this. Also, there are a few, well, things you need to watch. First of all, we're in open G tuning, but I'm tuned half step up. In the video description here below you find the correct notes, but I'll explain it. You tune down the first to D sharp, tune up to C, tune up to G sharp, tune up to D sharp, tune down to G sharp, and tune down to D sharp. This means that your first, fourth and sixth are D sharp, and your third and fifth are G sharp, and your second is a C. So I do that, well, to facilitate my voice, and also to have a little bit more string tension, because I use not heavy strings. This is a custom light set which starts with a 0-11. So a little bit more tension helps. I'm also playing with a brass slides from Daddy Slides, sorry, no relation. And I'm playing, well, rather clean slides. Instead of keeping it dirty, I put my index finger on the strings, let it drag on the strings. So you eliminate the noise that is made behind the slide. The strings vibrate there also, and you can hear that clearly. But that's a personal choice you make. Okay, I tapped out the introduction and the first verse, which is pretty much the same for the whole song. And I'll talk about some variations. And you can find the direct link to the tap also in the video description. So let's start with the introduction. So, I didn't do that exactly the same as Robert Johnson. I thought come use something else. And it's those little licks, if you have them in your head, if you're able to sing them, then it's easier to play them. So, da 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 da. And notice that I'm muting with my picking finger after I pick the string. And an open string, and then we have a turnaround. And I'm sliding up to the 4th fret on the 5th string. And we're muting with the right hand. And then we have an up and down stroke. But I first wanted to tell you about the bass. I'm using no thumb pick, although I think Robert Johnson used one. There's a picture with where he's wearing one in any case. But this song I chose not to use one, and I'll explain that later why. And I'm using what I call the country blues muted bass. So I'm playing it open. And then I mute it with this part of my hand. So it's not like that, constantly muted, no. And I'm hitting at least 2 strings, in this case the 5th and the 4th, and sometimes even the 3rd. And if I would mute that, the 4th and the 3rd, you would hear this. Now the 4th, added, open, and the 3rd. I'm not playing always that 3rd, but sometimes, especially when there's not much going on in the trebles, I accent the bass to get a real good rhythmic feel. Okay, we had that introduction, and then Robert Johnson does something like this. Instead of, he goes to the 7th fret on the 5th string and plays 4th and 5th string in unison. Something like that. And then we were simply following the melodic line on the 12th fret for the rest of the song. So. So, I'm sliding to the 12th fret after the... And then we have a little rest, eh? And this is on the up, and this is on the beat. And I'm sliding, I'm doing this with my 2 fingers held together, and down also. Okay. So your starts on the upstroke of that 2nd beat. And then I'm playing with my 2 fingers. When I want to really make the 2 strings clear, I play each string with 1 finger. I doubt if Robert Johnson would do that, he would probably play with his thumb and index only. But that's the way I do it. And I'm going down and sliding on the 6th string 3rd fret. If I would play it without the bass, it would sound like this. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2. You see, there's always 2 beats between the sung phrases, the hummed phrases. going for 2 beats only to the 6th string. Yes, as a variation. Robert Johnson used this phrase only in the 3rd verse, but I use it more because I really like it. Come on in my kitchen. Gonna be raining outdoors. So, Robert Johnson stays on the 12th fret for the whole song almost, just going down to the 7th fret for just one moment in the last phrase, but I'm going down. When I sing the last phrase, you better come on, you better come on. And that's a little fantasy here. In my kitchen, gonna be raining outdoors, and gonna be rain. This I'm doing slowly. Raining outdoors. I'm really following the vocal line. Okay, one more time. You better come on in my kitchen. Gonna be raining outdoors. And this is why I'm not playing with a tempic. That turnaround, which is the same in every verse, I really played with my nail. You see, I tilt my hand so my nail really hits the strings, not like this, but it's almost what they call in classical music rest stroke. So I'm sliding to the 5th fret, down on the 4th string, 3 and 2, open, 5th string, and then that's the only thing I fret with my finger, 2nd finger. And then I really snap it, that 5th fret, 1st string, I put my finger under the string and pull it away. And I'm starting on the 3rd fret, 3rd string, and then when I'm going up to the 5th fret 1st string, I'm going to release. So I'm going to the 4th fret, and then you almost have a pull-off of the open 3rd string, and that really rings nice with that 5th fret 1st string. So I'm not going to do, because then you have a C chord and it doesn't matter, doesn't match there. Notice the bass. Okay, that was for the 1st verse, and in the 2nd verse, well, we have the woman I love took from my best friend. Well, the joker got lucky, stole it back again. All around the 12th fret, and sometimes I start on the 1st string and sometimes on the 2nd string. And then the last phrase is of course the same in every verse, with one variation. You better come on in my kitchen. So I didn't do to the 8th fret, but you better come on in my kitchen. and I'm really sliding slowly up, and I pinch the 2nd and the 4th string till we arrive at the 7th fret. And then we have 3 beats before and you notice in the performance video that I do different things there. Sometimes I did or only on the 4th string, or a little flurry like that. So listen carefully to the performance video, then you will hear it. And there's no fixed rule. I do whatever I please. You can play whatever when you're on that 7th fret. All the notes, they belong together, so you can't do anything wrong by changing the sequence of the notes, as long as they're on the 7th fret. Okay, after the 2nd verse we have a little solo. So what I'm doing is going to the 15th fret. So start on the 2nd string. So 2nd first, 2nd first on the 12th fret, and then the 3rd string. And we'll do that twice. And then a little phrase. And when I pick 2 strings together, I sometimes do that instead of both strings at the same time. In slow motion it will sound like this. Sounds cool, and it's a bit, well, let's say a Hawaiian flavor. Here also. So, that was it for the solo. And well, the 3rd and the 4th verse are pretty much the same, except I'm using this phrase as well. So, when a woman's trouble, everybody throws it down, looking for a good friend, none can be found. Yeah, come on, my kitchen. Winter time is coming, it's gonna be cold. Can't make it with a band, just drive along slow. Yeah, come on, gonna be raining outdoors. That's how I ended it, with a slide on the 2nd and the 3rd string. After that. You see me moving also, like that. Gives a sort of retarded phrase, because you're hanging around that 8th fret longer. And the up and down phrase is a sort of delay, and you can do that very difficult if you stay straight with the slide. it's easier like if you do like this. Okay, so that was it for Robert Johnson. Well, my version anyway. Okay, have fun with it.